Hello and welcome to another chapter of the Tao Te Ching, translated by me, or I call it a rendition more than a translation because I didn't go out of my way to learn Chinese so I can read the Tao. Um, I was introduced to the Tao through Stephen Mitchell, and then I just like 20 years ago, and beautiful translation, and I've read lots of translations since, and they're all similar in some aspects and very different in another. And I feel like you can get a sense of the person who's translating it through their rendition. And I think the same goes for my rendition. And here I'm titling them all. Not that they were titled, but I'm trying to, do something with this. This is just something that I'm doing, and I'm sharing it here. So chapter 46, knowing when to stop. When Tao is followed, shelter, food, and water are prioritized. Going counter to Tao, war, excess, and hoarding are praised. He who believes there isn't enough is cursed to never have enough. He who believes he must acquire will acquire nothing that lasts. There is no greater waste of time or energy than being discontent. Therefore, the master knows what is enough and is content to stop there. What is enough? And that's a big question for all of us. Like if you've been following the work of, the law of attraction, which is a real thing. I don't want to but it's more than what you think it is. It's more than what any of us think it is. Like, it is life. It is part of Tao. It's not just, we like to be in control of things, and so the law of attraction is cute for us, and we can follow it, and we think that, oh, if I want something bad enough, I'll get it, or if I align myself vibrationally, well, there are some things that you may never get, and just because you're influenced to want them doesn't mean that you are going to get them, or you deserve them, or whatever, however you want to phrase all of that. And so this verse really kind of draws in on that idea of, like, there is no greater waste of time or energy than being discontent. Your wanting is ultimately a form of discontent. You have a want, right? You're not content with what's here. You have a want. You want more money. You want more cars. You want more stuff. You want more love. You want more. It's like, that's never going to end, right? We talked about hungry ghosts before. Here it is again. This idea of, like, once you start feeding a hungry ghost, the bitch just gets hungrier. Like, you don't have any control over how hungry the ghost of want is. And so you just keep feeding it your want, and you just keep wanting more and more and more, and people keep letting you down because you can't have what you want. And like, that is discontent. That's deep discontent. When Tao is followed, shelter, food, and water are prioritized. Look, if you have these three things, you're good. You're absolutely good. If you have a place to stay, if you have food, if you have water, clean water, not everybody has this, but if you have it, that's all you need. What else do you need? You can sit on your ass for the rest of your life and do nothing, and that's okay, because you have food, water, and shelter. Now, if those things are contingent on money, and if those things are contingent on other things, of course, you still have to prioritize that which those things are contingent to. So shelter is shelter. You don't have to have a 24-room home or whatever, like, you don't have to have the want behind it. You can just say, no, shelter is something that I need in order to live my life. Like, it is. Because once again, there's masculine and feminine. We talk about four walls as being the masculine to the energy, which is feminine, the space, which is feminine. And so you need four walls so you can confine and hold and build and support and nourish the energy of your life. If you just go outside and you live outside, the energy of your life just gets dissipated into space because you don't have anything to close you in. Those walls help you nurture that energy, and thus makes it possible for you to live a clear-minded life. Food. Without food, and I'm not talking excess food, I'm not talking like freezers full of meat and things. It's just like, do you have food for today? Now, of course, you don't get paid every day, and food is contingent in our society on some money or work in terms of gardening or trapping or hunting or whatever it is, however you gather your food. And water. Water is in and of the earth. Do you have access to water? Once again, these things can be contingent on money, but when you prioritize the money you need for those things, then you're following Tao. When you prioritize the resources you need to obtain those things, whether that's energy or money or time or whatever it is, when you prioritize that over all else, then you're following Tao, because that is what's needed to live. Going counter to Tao, war, excess, and hoarding are praised. Hoarding of food, hoarding of homes, hoarding of water, hoarding of and profits. That's war. War is when Nestle doesn't want you collecting rainwater that falls on your roof because it controls the water, right? Because it purchased the water. No, that's war. That is absolute war. When Nestle goes into, a Central or South American town and wants its people, the people that live in that town, to not collect rainwater. Sorry, water should be prioritized. When you try to take water away from human beings, that is an act of war. It absolutely is. So going counter to Tao, war, excess, and hoarding are praised. And that's what we're seeing, right? We see hoarding of money, we see hoarding of resources, we see hoarding of all sorts of things, always. And war is forcing people to live in ways that are counter to their own happiness. The United States, the idea of, it's a great idea, the idea that people should be able to pursue happiness. I feel like the United States doesn't pursue happiness as much as it pursues wealth, right? But happiness is what it says, and for how I would describe or prescribe, like, the idea of what that means is like food, shelter, and water. And shelter doesn't necessarily mean you have like any certain type of home, or renting is shelter. Once again, prioritizing the resources that go toward keeping that shelter is prioritizing the resources that will allow you to get those three things is what it means to live in accordance with Tao. He who believes there isn't enough is cursed to never have enough. He who believes he must acquire will acquire nothing that lasts. And I think that we're seeing that in the world today, right? We're seeing constant return to this idea that, like, oh, I don't have enough. And no, of course you don't. The moment you say I don't have enough, you are damning yourself to never have enough. The moment you say, like, I need to get this, well, as soon as you do, it is the needing to get that you're becoming addicted to, and then you continue down that path, acquiring, and yet none of it lasts in your heart, right? None of it lasts as being, none of the fulfillment that you gain from it is lasting. There is no greater waste of time or energy than being discontent, period. Now, this is a big statement that goes beyond everything that we've read so far in this verse. There is no greater waste of time or energy than being discontent. If you are discontent, you are wasting time and energy. I tell people all the time, I stop people from telling their stories in which they are becoming increasingly discontent, saying, this isn't doing you any good. You aren't succeeding at anything here. You are just wasting time and energy. So stop it. It's like the old Bob Newhart piece. Stop it. Like the woman is complaining about all these things. You just stop it. And that's really what it is. It's like learning to stop it over and over and over again will give you practice. It will give you a skill set on stopping the mindless need, the mindless wanting, the mindless discontent that you constantly search for, or that you're constantly feeding. Therefore, the master knows what is enough and is content to stop there. I have enough. Okay. We can be here now. I don't have to exert energy towards trying to get more food tomorrow, because tomorrow will be here soon enough. I can enjoy this, and I can enjoy me, and I can enjoy this living life, this body, this wholeness, the connection I have to my home, or the connection I have to my shelter, the food I have, the water. I can savor it. I can make it into a tea. Like, these are beautiful things that we can do with our time when we're not wasting it on being discontent. Thank you again for joining me for this series of the Tao. I am looking forward to wrapping this up by the end of 2023. So I'll be doing quite a few in the next couple days. So if you see this, keep an eye out for me. Otherwise, if you are seeing these after 2023, if you're watching the recordings, keep on going. 47 is next, and I hope you're getting a lot out of this. The Tao has brought me to so many beautiful places within myself, and I hope it can do the same for you. And if not, I hope you find something that can. Until next time, keep recovering yourself.